Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Year 7. So this is going to be the first of 3 lessons on HTML. HTML is Hypertext Markup language. It's the language code that is used to develop and create websites. So during this video, you can pause, you can start, get a piece of paper, get a pen, make notes, do whatever you need to do, but this video is going to be available for you to use. So Hypertext Markup language. I found this website, which I've used in the past. It's absolutely brilliant. It's www.w3schools.com. And it's got lots of different types of code on. We're going to focus on HTML today. We're not going to be looking at the others, but you can if you want to. If you want to go on Python, if you're interested in lots of JavaScript, you can have a look, have a play. It's the best way to learn, just to have a little explore and see what you want to do. So what I've done is I've attached on showing my homework a PowerPoint with the student instructions. I've got a little play me clip there to give you a bit more detail on the instructions. Essentially what I want you to do is I want you to use the website to follow the instructions to create a piece of code. The website we've just been on, there's lots of different instructions here on the left hand side that you can do. If you haven't got the internet, you can match the descriptions here to the left hand side and then just simply write out the piece of code here and match the descriptions to the best of your ability, and hopefully you will be able to go through those. So with the instructions, if you want to prove that you've done the piece of code, you can take a snip, take a picture, write down the code, send me an email. Remember to email back your teacher, so that's either Mr. McPhillips, Mr. Downs, or myself. If you've got Miss Wood as a teacher, you can email me the work and I will give you some feedback. So back to the website. Once you click on here, I'll send a hyperlink, www.w3schools. There you go, a bit of a tongue twister. And go back to the website here. Once you've loaded it up, you're going to see lots of different instructions on the left-hand side. The best thing to do is to click on the introduction to start off with. So it gives you a bit of an overview. What is HTML? Well, it's Hypertext Markup language. It's the structure of the web page. And I'm just going to give you an example here of what I mean by that. I'm going to press F12 now on my keyboard. And when this loads up, you can actually see the Hypertext Markup language, the HTML, behind this page that we're actually on right now. Any website that you go on, press F12 on your PC, your laptop, and you'll be able to see the different code that surrounds this website. So this is all the code that has been used to create this website. I'm going down it, as you can see here, and you can actually have a look. Now, it's actually quite a lot for this website, so I don't want to scare you. But the person that's written this is in the exact same position you are right now. This is something that you can do, you can practice, you can learn on how to do this. I'm just going to get rid of that code for you. So we're going to start off here on the introduction part. Now you can see here, if you just simply scroll down, you can make notes on this if you want to, and you can actually look at what HTML elements are. So it says here, you've got basic simple code to start off with. It will then go into more depth as you go on. So what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at the introduction to start off with, and we're going to see if you can actually write a piece of code and understand this that's on the screen right now. So what you've got here is you've got all of the different types of code to start off a simple website. You can try it for yourself by clicking on the button. It's absolutely brilliant. You can have a look here. You can change parts of it. So just change the first heading. Let's just put Mr. Roberts as an example, and I'm going to run it. And you can actually quite clearly see this is the basic outline here, as you can see, of what your web page would look like if you have developed, or when you develop your HTML code. So again, I can just put, I am testing this out. I mean, you're going to be able to add color, you're going to be able to put boxes, there's lots of things you're going to be able to do. And you can do this over time. So that's in the try it editor. As you can see here, it opens another tab at the top. I'm just going to close that because I'm going to go back. And this essentially explains here what this code means. Now, the first thing I want to talk to you about is tags. You'll notice here that this repeats. You've got HTML and HTML. There's two tags. You've got head and you've got head. Two tags. You've got title and you've got title. Again, that's a tag. It shows that that is what the whatever the tag is. It has two. It has one at the start, and then it has one at the end. Now, the difference between the one at the end and the start, you can probably see it. It's got a backslash there. So, for example, if I go to head, and you've got head, you've got the backslash, and then you've got the head. You've got H1. You probably guessed what H1 is by now. Large heading. You can quite clearly see it's got a slash when you put my first head in there. The paragraph P, you can see there, it's got a slash. Now, the body is the visible page content. It's, as you can imagine, what is actually written in the actual page. You've got the title. Well, the title is the title of the document. The head is the meta information. It's meta information is all about location, where the information, what the content of the information is, and the HTML is the element. So you can see it's a HTML and a HTML document. It's the element of the page. So what I'd like you to do to start off with is we're going to start off by creating this simple code. I mean, you can go down and you can have a look. Oh, there we go. It talks about the tags there. You can quite clearly see the start tag. It actually gives you more information. Again, you can make notes on this as you're going through it. But we're going to actually start to create some code. Now, if you have got a PC and you're working on a PC, you can do this, or a laptop, whatever you've got, you can do this by using some notes. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit more about what I mean by that in a second. If you haven't, and you're doing this on your phone or you're doing this on an iPad or something like that, you can just use the try it yourself. But what I want you to do is I'm going to want you to write down this code, and I'm going to want you to annotate it. So I'm going to need you to annotate what this code means, okay? Because you're going to build this up over time, over the lessons. And if I go into my you can see the Wi-Fi is going very slow today. You're going to see that if you go into other lessons, you can see here, look, and this is what we're about to do, the editors, you can see lots of different information that you can add to the page. And I'm just going to go to the basics. Again, this is what we're going to be doing today, but you're going to then be able to add different tags in. So it's going to build up and build up and build up. So if you can, we're going to add the editors in. Now, to do that, this is what I want you to follow, the step-by-step guide. So on a PC, you can see Notepad. On the Mac, it says you can put text edit. So there's lots of different things that you can actually look at. So I'm just going to do this to start off with. So I'm going to go, I'm working on a PC, so I'm going to go into Notepad. So I've just clicked onto my Notepad. Some of you may or may not have used this before. I'm not too sure. But essentially what I want you to do is I want you to write down this piece of code to start off with. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start it off, and I'm going to put it as a doc type HTML. Now, once you've done that, you can then write the rest of the code in. I'm just going to pause the video and write the code in for you, so you don't have to watch me writing all the code in. Okay, so I've now just written all the code in, as if by magic. There you go. So this is essentially the Notepad on your PC, and what it's going to allow you to do is going to allow you to write the HTML part of your code. Now, once you've done that, you're going to have to save this document. Now, you're going to go to Save As. Now, you're going to find a folder on your computer. Now, my advice is obviously to create I've got a school closure folder. didn't mean to click on that. I've got a school closure folder, which I'm going to go into. And I have pinned that. I don't know, you can just right click and pin these if you want. I don't know if you know how to do these. For quick access, I do that all the time. So we're going to go to Year 7 ICT, and I'm going to create, I'm just going to save it in here actually, and I'm going to save this as HTML. No, I'm not actually, I'm not going to save it. I'm going to put lesson 1 HTML code. There we go. I'm going to save that as a text document to start off with, and then I'm going to save that in there. So if I want to access this at any point, I can just go to my work area, and you can quite clearly see here. So I'll just close that now, and I am now going to open that back up. So you can see it there. Now we need to create this into a website. Now to do that, what you have to do is you have to save as, and you can keep the same name, but what you need to do is, you can see here, you just need to add .html at the end of the file name. You can keep the same file name, that's absolutely fine. I'm now going to save that, and you're going to see what happens, okay? Okay, so if you see what happens here now, you get a Microsoft Chrome HTML document. So if I open this up, there you go. That's my first heading, and I've actually now created my own little website. You can actually see I've converted it into a website page now. So I'm just going to close that down again, and I'm just going to go back. And that is obviously matching that. Now, if you don't have this access to Notepad, you can just run it on here, but you are going to have to make notes. Now, what I would like you to do in your task is I would like you to snip this, or print screen it, or take a picture. So I'm just going to do that now. And you can quite clearly see here, I've already done one later, but I want you to do it in this document. You can quite clearly see I can copy that now from my Notepad. I'm going to save this onto my HTML page. So let's just put it onto my PowerPoint, and you're going to have there your first note page. Now you can change all the first headings and paragraphs. You can put whatever you want in. That's entirely up to you. So my work, or whatever you want to call it, it's absolutely fine. But I also want to see the other part of your work. And I'm just going to, so I'm now going to go to the actual HTML part where you've actually got the website, and I'm going to snip that. I've already done that, prep that for you. I'm going to copy that, and again I'm going to paste that into my work to show that I've done the code. So I've now got two print screens, or snips, or images. The first one is the code, the HTML, and the second one is it actually working in a web browser. Underneath, let me just copy this. I just would like you to explain with annotations what the images show. And again, I would like you to annotate all of the different code lines. So annotation, what do they mean? The code lines. Now you can do that by going back to the website, and if you go into the introduction, you should then be able to explain what HTML is, and it gives you a bit of an overview as to what the actual code is. Now, I don't want you to just stop there. I would like you to obviously, I mean, I've not changed any of the code whatsoever there. I would expect you to have, you can have any subject content. You can do it on yourself, you can do it on lockdown, you can do it on your favorite football team, whatever it may be. It's up to you what you put on your code. It's totally your decision. But don't just stop. As I've just said, Once you've done that, you can go into the basics. You can quite clearly see there's different headings. Again, try it yourself. Add to the code. You can see there, look, it's got lots of different tags. Remember, it's got to be within the body because that's the body of the actual content. So if I want to, I'm just going to copy and paste that. I can go back to my notepad and let's put that there. So I've got, this is heading 6. Again, I'm going to save as. And this time, again, I'm going to save it as HTML and I'm going to build it up. I'm going to save it. It's going to say to me, yes, it already exists. Do you want to replace it? I'm going to say yes on this example. Again, you can change it. You can continue to change it. I'm going to go to my code. I'm going to open it up again. And you can see here now, I've just added a heading 6. You can quite clearly see that was my first one. I kept it open on purpose there. And you can see I'm starting to build my piece of code bit by bit. Now to do that, again, go to the website and go through some of the different elements, attributes, headings, paragraph styles. I'm going to stop the lesson there. So just to confirm, what I expect from you is I expect a piece of code working in HTML view on the Chrome or whatever web browser you've got. I expect the actual code there with a bit of annotation to show what it does. And I expect just an explanation of what the images show. So it just shows obviously the HTML and then the actual actual code working. Remember, you can press F12 to see any web page, the HTML. Let me see how this goes. If you want to leave any comments on that sounded like a YouTube clip then, but if you want to leave me any comments on showing my homework, say particularly, or an email to me, say, do you think this worked? Did you not work? Did it not work? It's something new that we're trying. So we'll see how it goes. Good luck.